Welcome to Buried, where we dig deep into the stories that haunt us, the cases that linger in the shadows, and the truths that refuse to stay buried. I'm your host, Montu Patel, and today we're diving into a case that's as chilling as it is unbelievable. A case where a Coke can and a plastic cup cracked open a 30-year-old mystery involving a sexual assault and murder. This is the story of Mandy Stavik, an 18-year-old college student whose vibrant life was stolen, and the justice that took 3 decades to find her. Buckle up, because this one's got twists, turns, and a lesson that'll stick with you for life. Picture this. A tiny town called Acme in Washington state, population 300 to 350. It's the kind of place where everyone knows everyone, where people don't even bother locking their doors. It's safe, it's quiet, it's home. But on November 24th, 1989, everything changed. Mandy Stavik, an 18-year-old college freshman, was known for her bright smile and love for life. She'd often go jogging with her mom, but on this crisp fall day, she decided to head out alone with just her loyal German shepherd Kyra toward the Nooksack River. It was a route she knew well, with only 10 to 12 houses along the way. Mandy had no idea this would be her last run. Hours passed, and Kyra came home, alone. Mandy's family knew something was wrong. Her brother Lee, who'd been at a friend's house halfway along her route, remembered seeing her jog by with Kyra. Others in the neighborhood confirmed it, but now Mandy was gone. The tight-knit Acme community sprang into action, searching fields, forests, and riverbanks. For 24 hours, hope held strong. Then, on the second day, it started to fade. By day 3, hope turned to dread. That's when they found her. 6 miles from home in the Nooksack River, Mandy's body was discovered. She was naked, her body battered. The community was shattered. How could this happen in Acme, where everyone was family? The autopsy report brought even darker news. Cause of death: asphyxiation by drowning. But here's where it gets weird. The water where Mandy was found wasn't deep enough to drown in, and Mandy was a strong swimmer. Plus, there were no signs of a struggle at the scene. Then, the bombshell. Mandy had a head injury, and there was evidence of sexual assault. Someone had attacked her, violated her, and left her to die. The question on everyone's mind: who did this? Was the killer one of their own, hiding in plain sight, or an outsider who slipped through? And worse, was he still out there, hunting for his next victim? This case hit Acme like a sledgehammer, but the police had a secret weapon: DNA testing, which had just started being used in the U.S. in 1986. At the crime scene, they found an unidentified male DNA sample on Mandy's body. This was their golden ticket to catching the killer. They created a composite sketch based on witness descriptions and chased every lead. One name came up: David Suchy, a drifter spotted in the area that day. A drifter, for those who don't know, is someone who wanders from place to place, often with a shady reputation. The police were sure they had their guy, until his DNA didn't match. Dead end. David Suchy was ruled out, and the investigation hit a wall. Years turned into decades. 2 detectives came and went. The case went cold. But in 2009, Detective Kevin Bohe took over, determined to bring justice. He started collecting DNA from every male who'd lived in Acme in 1989. 4 years, hundreds of samples, and still no match. The police were frustrated. Mandy's family was exhausted, and Acme's hope was fading. Mandy's killer was still out there, living free. Then, a miracle happened. 2 women, Heather and Marilee, bumped into each other at a water park. They'd both gone to college with Mandy, and as they reminisced, her name came up. Suddenly, both women froze. At the exact same moment, they blurted out the same name: Tim Bass. They'd always suspected him. But why? And if they'd had these suspicions for years, why had they stayed silent? Let's rewind to Mandy's college days. Heather and Marilee had known Tim Bass, a fellow student, and their experiences with him were deeply disturbing. On a school trip, Tim had tried to physically assault Heather. Later, he showed up at Marilee's house late at night, pressuring her into a physical relationship. Imagine being a young college student, harassed and intimidated by someone you're supposed to trust. The fear was so intense that both women kept quiet, burying their trauma. But now, 25 years later, they realized Mandy's justice depended on them speaking up. So, they contacted the police. Their story was a game changer. Tim Bass lived near Mandy's family, close enough that their families were friends. Tim's younger brother, Tom, was even one of Mandy's buddies. But here's the kicker. When the police had collected DNA from Acme's men, they'd never tested Tim or his family. Why? Because the Basses were so close to Mandy's family, no one suspected them. It was a massive oversight, a colossal mistake. The police needed Tim's DNA, but when they approached him, he refused to give a saliva sample. That refusal lit a fire under the detectives. Tim was now their prime suspect. They dug into his background and uncovered a chilling picture. Tim's brother, Tom, described him as antisocial and aggressive, especially after a college breakup that left him with a deep resentment toward women. 6 weeks after Mandy's death, Tim married a college classmate named Gina Malone. When the police spoke to Gina, she revealed a nightmare of a marriage. Tim was controlling, emotionally abusive, and treated her like a servant. He'd even threatened to take their 3 kids if she ever left. Gina was trapped in a 30-year prison of her own. The police were convinced Tim was their guy, but without his DNA, they had nothing. So they got creative. They tailed him, hoping he'd toss something with his saliva, a cigarette butt, a coffee cup, anything. But Tim was either lucky or cunning, and they kept coming up empty. Just when it seemed like all doors were closing, a new one opened. Kim Wagner, Tim's boss at the bakery where he worked as a delivery driver. Kim had noticed Tim's disrespectful attitude toward women, and when the police explained the case, she didn't hesitate to help. She became their eyes and ears, watching Tim's every move, waiting for him to slip up. Months passed with no luck, until one day it happened. Tim used a Coke can and a plastic cup, then tossed them in the trash. Kim, moving quickly to avoid his notice, grabbed both and handed them to the police. The test results came back, and it was a match. The unidentified DNA from Mandy's body belonged to Tim Bass. On December 17, 2017, Tim was arrested for Mandy's kidnapping, sexual assault, and murder. For the police, for Mandy's family, for Acme, this was personal. Even the prosecutor, Dave McEachran, came out of retirement to take the case pro bono, refusing to charge a dime. But the story wasn't over. During the trial, Tim dropped a bombshell that left everyone stunned. He claimed he and Mandy had been having a secret affair and that their encounter that day was consensual. That's why his DNA was on her, he said. It was an outrageous lie. Prosecutors pointed out that Mandy and Tim had no connection, no shared classes, no conversations, nothing. Tim was 4 years older, and no one had ever seen them together. It was a desperate, disgusting attempt to dodge the truth. And then, Tim's own family turned on him. His wife, Gina, testified that she overheard Tim telling his mother to pin the blame on his father, who'd been dead for 10 years. His mother refused. Tim's brother, Tom, also took the stand, revealing how Tim pressured him to lie in court, claiming he had been intimate with Mandy to discredit her character and weaken the assault charge. Tim had sunk to unthinkable lows, willing to throw anyone under the bus to save himself. After 30 years of waiting, a 2-week trial, and 5 hours of jury deliberation, the verdict came. Tim Bass was sentenced to 27 years in prison for the kidnapping, sexual assault, and murder of Mandy Stavik. This case is a testament to persistence, Detective Bo Hayes' relentless pursuit, Heather and Marilee's courage to speak up, Kim Wagner's quick thinking, and a community that never forgot Mandy. But it's also a reminder of a hard truth. Evil can hide in the places we feel safest, even in a town like Acme, where doors stay unlocked. The lesson here? Trust your instincts, speak your truth, and never stop fighting for justice, no matter how long it takes. Sometimes, even a Coke can and a plastic cup can bring a killer to his knees. Thanks for joining me on Buried. If this story hit you as hard as it hit me, hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'm Mantu Patel, and I'll see you next time as we uncover another story that refuses to stay buried.